What's up, everybody? If you're on Instagram Live, yes, I'm in a hot tub. We're doing a Q&A. And Ingrid's here. Ingrid!
We're keeping it chill. We're keeping it chill.
Welcome to my hot tub. Welcome to the backyard. You know, I was thinking I need to have you over here next time so we can do this together.
Yes, actually, today would have been a great day, too. Like, let's be real. Every day working this is not going to feel like, I can't even think of what feels good all the time. I don't know. I mean, maybe nothing less than R-rated. So I'm just saying, like, I have not been able to get myself into like a good energy mode. And I think, if I had been in the hot tub right now, I think I would be feeling a lot better.
Yeah, the hot tub is great. I was thinking of I brought the AirPods because I was like, maybe I'll put the jets on, but it'll probably be too loud. So I wanted to keep it together. Ingrid, I'm switching my Instagram Live over to YouTube. So what is our podcast? Can you get our intro going while I pop this up?
Absolutely. So obviously, welcome to the Explain It podcast with Caroline Kane and Ingryd Hernandez. We are here doing mostly a Q&A today. As I mentioned last week, I think we're going to start focusing a little bit more on the Q&A side. We have a lot of folks who are beginner level. We want to give more access to us and be able to ask the kinds of questions that are really just harder to focus on when you're first starting. And we want to make sure that we can provide that kind of platform. So for us, we want to make sure that we're providing value out there, even if it's out of our jacuzzis, like we see Caroline today. And I have a lot of people who have been, hitting my DMs up, which, by the way, I feel honored. I feel honored that people come and ask me questions. I've made a few connections that way of people I've never met them. I've never interacted with them. And they just hit me up on my DMs. I mean, social media, honestly, shoot your shot, people. I mean, if it's Michael Jordan or Gary Vee or, I don't know, Michelle Obama, like, hit those DMs. You never know. You never know who is going to answer back and be able to have that conversation with you. So with that, of course, we want to make sure that we're here for you. And today we really, really want to encourage you putting those questions in the chat. First of all, let us know where you're joining us from. And of course, do deals together. If you have a burning question and you're like, oh my God, we don't have a guest today and I get to ask whatever I want, please take advantage of it. Like, it could be anything. It could be like what you maybe are concerned is like a stupid question or a really complicated one. We'd love to have you on with us and ask your questions. We'll bring you guys up so that, we can interact with you. And doesn't Caroline look hot? Like, I mean,
can you hear the water running? Is it too loud?
No, I can't hear it at all.
Well, okay. It's loud on my end. So what's up, Jimmy Dean? There's people on Instagram and you guys are on YouTube. So I actually told Savin to come in here. So if you guys are on the side chat of YouTube right now, I just dropped the link in there so you guys can jump in and come on stage with us. But yeah, we'll answer anything. Let's get you guys cleared up. Actually, Ingrid, I haven't even told you this. I'm going to be starting on Monday. You're welcome to join in. I know you're doing, I think at the beginning of the year, 75 hard, but I'm going to start 75 soft on Monday just because I know like I just function better with the routine. So I'm willing to help you guys out. Oh, you're not getting, hang on, let me do it again, Savin. Try this. Now you should be able to jump in with that link. What's up, Jason? Yeah, it's I don't even know what the temperature is here. It's like 70 degrees. So freezing out here in Phoenix in the hot tub. And I figured I'd jump on and interact with you guys. So if you're on Instagram Live, jump over here to YouTube so we can answer your questions. But Savin, link is no good still. Oh, look at these. There's some good questions already coming in. Link or cost segregation. So let me know if that's working, Savin. Link or Jason, does it still say that link is no good?
Here, let's check. I'll do it with my dry hands.
There you go. I don't know why mine would not be working.
Yeah, I don't. Actually, that is the right guest StreamYard. I don't know where they're coming from. So,
well, there it is. There's Savin. So Savin was messaging me earlier on Instagram, and I was like, dude, hop in here and I can answer more questions for you. So Savin, thank you for being so consistent. Let's get to your question, dog. And also, Ingrid, just, Savin's new. Savin's been getting after it. So every time I give him something to do, he goes and does it. And I really love that. So Savin, Where are you in the world, and what question were you asking me earlier?
So I was asking about follow up on uh, door knocking lead. So it's I'm door knocking in Michigan. It's a pre foreclosure lead. I was talking to the guy. He mentioned that he doesn't have the money right in the beginning. He lost his job in COVID, and uh, he was gonna go for the loan modification. He is in the process talking to the bank. My question was that I was not able to get through to him and getting more information out of him. I already have the mortgage information from the county's notice, but he is not completely opening up. And when I last talked to him, his last option was going to be filing bankruptcy.
Okay.
uh, and yeah, I that's where I was struggling. Our conversation was around that doesn't help anyone, and how do I make him realize that, or what's my conversation? What should my conversation look like from here on?
Yeah, so let's talk about this really quickly. So first and foremost, way to go, way to get outside, because like door knocking is terrifying.
It
So
is.
I'm proud of you for going, because I remember the first time I door knocked, I was like, knock knock, sticky note, and like I like almost ran away. I was so scared. You're afraid of rejection. We put a lot of things into our head. So I'd say,
Yeah.
way to go, getting outside of your comfort zone. Incredible. I'm going to end this podcast in the cold plunge, which is our pool right now, because it's like 30 degrees in there. But what I would ask you now is, how many conversations have you had with the gentleman that owns that home?
Uh, Quite a few. So 2 calls, one direct in person meeting, and then texting back and forth.
Okay.
So
How would you say your rapport building has been?
it's very well. So in the very beginning, he had just stopped responding, and then I said, "Hope you haven't given up." And then I engaged back in, and now we are at a stage where I can say, "Do this. You don't have time." So I have that rapport with him for sure. Yeah.
Okay. You were interacting with me. I sent you a few messages. One of the things that I like to do is ask them, remember, get to like chapter 14. So when you spoke to the bank, what did they say? You got to start planting seeds, because I mean, Ingrid, it might be different for you, but I have not locked anybody up on the first conversation. Well, on my second conversation I had with an extremely motivated homeowner, but typically most people, especially somebody who's in pre-foreclosure, because like what I like to do is I like to help homeowners keep their house. I don't want to just buy the home. I am an investor. I would like to buy the house. I'd like the opportunity to buy the house, but my goal and the way that I do business is I want to make sure that people can stay in their home if that's what's important to them. So I know you said that he wants to try and keep it. I remember you said he's around $40,000 behind. He's in arrears of 40 grand.
Yes.
And it's going to take 2 more weeks for him. When did he get all of his loan modification paperwork turned into the bank?
Beginning of this week. So Monday,
Beginning
specifically
of this week. Okay. All right. And then when is his auction date?
9th of January. So that's what I told him. We don't have 2 weeks. Get on the call with the bank end of this week. And yeah, so he's
Okay,
going
so
to
just
do
a
that.
fun fact for everybody, you need to, if you're going to do a loan mod, you need to file it minimum 37 days before the auction date, or the bank's going to automatically be like, you snooze, you lose. We're already overwhelmed. There's over 500,000 Americans that are in default. We can't like stop everything for you. Banks are overwhelmed. So just a fun
It's
little
actually
fact.
more than 500,000. There's 5 million people in default right now.
Ooh, 5
Okay.
million in default. So dyslexic girl here, so don't trust me when I tell you numbers. But
No, it was 500,000. I would say over a year ago, and
Okay.
the numbers have slowly been inclining or increasing. And so I actually just read some stats last week, and so that's kind of where we're at.
So another thing I would just say, that's going to help you out a ton. This is something that I've struggled with, and this is what I'm trying to build out right now, my infrastructure, so I can handle things, but you still need to be producing leads. So everybody on here, I'm talking through Savin to everyone, you need to have leads, because if you don't have leads, you don't have a business. So I would help this gentleman out. I wouldn't put all of your eggs in this basket. Savin, how many leads do you have right now that you're talking to?
I'm getting about 30 leads a week. That's
Qualified leads? Like, I want to sell my house?
No. That's just when I say leads, it's just properties in foreclosure.
Suspects.
Suspects, yeah. So they're all starting out as suspects, and then you're going to turn them into leads once you've had a conversation. So just fun fact for everybody, everybody's a suspect until you have the conversation and you've qualified them and made them turn into a lead. And then they have, typically the 4 pillars: motivation, timeline, condition, and price. Okay. Now you have this one gentleman. We're going to call him Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo, he filed the loan mod. We're waiting 2 weeks. If I were you, what I would do is I would have my ducks in a row. If the auction date is on the 9th and he's not going to be able to catch it up, to do what you can to stop the auction. And then you can talk to him about what's important to him. Hey, Joe Schmo, we did everything we could for you to keep the property. It's not going through. So what would your next steps be? Would you rather the bank get this house back and you lose all of your equity? Or would you like to have some options here and save your credit? This or that. What's important to you, and find out what it is. I don't like going into a conversation and just saying, hi, I know that you don't have any money. I want to buy your house. It's like, what's the best solution for them? What is their problem? Oh, I like that. Put that up, Ingrid. That's a good little nugget you just threw in the side chat. Pin it so everybody can see it.
Oh.
So she's talked about the suspects equals a data point, a lead equals a raise their hand that says, yes, I want to sell my house. So just so everybody can see that visually. I'm a big visual learner myself. So anyways, I would continue touching base with him. I might plant the seed of like, hey, I feel like you're probably going to get this loan mod approved. If it doesn't, because and actually, I would actually rewind. I would say, I'm seeing a lot of people not wanting to accept the loan mods. Do you know why people are not wanting to accept the loan mods right now, Sabin?
Because there are 5 million people in default.
Say it again.
Because there are 5 million people in default. Banks are overwhelmed, as Ingrid said.
There is an overwhelming factor, but there's another.
No, I don't.
So do you know when your homeowner bought this property?
2017, I think.
2017. I wonder what his mortgage is. Do you know what his mortgage payment is each month?
We can figure that out, but no, I don't know the exact payment. The interest rate is 4.3%.
Where is it? Where is it in the world?
Michigan.
So the Midwest. Okay. I'm going to assume a 2017 mortgage in the Midwest, and if you're not in like the ritziest area,
it's around 300K price. Price is 300.
Probably around $1,000 a month, maybe 1,500. I have no idea. I'm shooting from the hip here. I don't know Michigan prices.
No, you're probably looking at 1,400, 1,500 at that point.
Yeah.
The reason I can do that quick math is because I bought my $320,000 house in 2015 at like 4 something. And that was like 16, whatever. That's always my gauge.
There you go. More experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we hang around Ingryd. So, Sabin, if they went and got a new loan today, they did a loan modification at today's interest rates, what do you think their mortgage payment would be?
8 with their credit score.
So
8% interest rate and whatever.
So if you're noticing, I'm not telling you the answer. I'm asking you because I'm watching the gears move in your head. You want to do the same thing when you're talking to a homeowner. You don't want to tell them the facts of like, hey, listen here, bucko, I'm smarter than you. And this is what you're going to want to do because I'm right and you're wrong and you're dumb and I'm smart and I buy houses. That's the quickest way to get an ick.
Did you just quote Matilda? That was Matilda.
I'm just so good. I don't even do it. I'm just kidding. But you want to go through. And was that Miss Trunchbull? So I'm going to get my hair a little bit higher for that. But ask those questions. And I would just say, Sabin or Joe Schmo, I'm seeing a lot of homeowners not go with the loan modification because when they go with the loan modification, their payments are getting more extreme. Do you think you'd be able to afford a mortgage at today's interest rates? Oh, man, Sabin, I hadn't thought of that. That's a really good point. Like, that's going to be even more money. So that's my route. Ingryd, I've been talking for a little bit. What would you say here?
Yeah, I agree. So some folks, and this is part of understanding the type of person you're talking to, especially if they're not opening up to you. If they are opening up to you, that's where I can be more of a counsel in terms of providing facts because I've already built enough credibility. If they're not opening up to you and you've had those opportunities for rapport, then that is where you can help them open up by asking more open-ended questions where they have to use logic to answer your questions because then now when they're talking to you, they're reciprocating that information in a way that then engages them in a way where they can share more. So if you're asking good logical questions that invoke that in them, they're going to build that rapport with you through your question asking, honestly, more than, hey, how'd the Bears, whatever, or the Michigan game went, that kind of stuff. So it's a very, very good advanced technique, because your goal is to get them to say what you would have said to them, but it's coming out of their mouth instead. So you have to really frame up the kinds of questions that get you there.
Okay. Understand. And are these kind of questions you ask in a text, or you just rather meet them?
I try and stay
No.
off the text message. This is really
Yeah.
important as well. Just like some sales training tips for you. Like, you wouldn't be able to know if I had my camera off. So I'm going to just turn my camera off really quickly. If I had my camera off, you wouldn't know the entire time that I'm talking to you. Like, what do you think the facial expression I have is right now, Savin? Can you imagine how excited I am? I'm like so happy. Can you tell like you can't pick up on everything, but if you have the camera on, you can see I'm squinting. I'm a little ticked off. Body language is 55% of communication. So if you can be in front of them or at least hear the tone of their voice, that's going to help you. You can sound more quizzical. I like being on the phone and making jokes out of everything. I don't want people to like feel like they have to have their guard up around me. I want it to be fun and I want to be engaging. So I like to, honestly, belly to belly is the way to go for me. I door knock and I want to talk to them in person. I don't like threatening. I want to just make sure that I'm helping them. So I would say get off of text when you're texting to set an appointment. I wouldn't do a whole lot more via text. Ingrid, anything different you'd say there?
Well, and I will say, if you're just getting started, like, know that unless you've had previous sales training, that this is just the beginning stages of your ability to read people's facial expression, as Caroline mentioned, their tone, their body language, all of those things. Like, you'll get better and better the more you practice. So I generally say, unless you have a strong sales background, it's going to take a good 3 months before you get your first property under contract, because you have to be consistently on the phones or having these conversations, whether they're face to face or not, just because you need to get those reps in. Like, you need to be able to practice having that communication. But as far as your specific example with this fella, obviously you have a few things going that probably need more urgency. And in my quick judgment on it, obviously I don't know all the scenario, is that you probably don't have enough stories so that they can see themselves seeing you solve it for them. So for example, when I'm speaking with somebody, I don't like just telling them or asking them questions. I bring them a story of how I help somebody else. So I look for a story, whether it's mine or borrowed, right? Pace had a lot of examples when I started getting on the phones. And so I used to use his stories. And I used to say, well, my partner, when he addressed this, or when I used the word we because, he told us we could do business with him, so we could use the we. And now I have enough of my own stories, so I don't generally bring his stories up unless they're relevant. So in your scenario, I would use a story, borrowed or otherwise, that you could say, here's what happened with this other seller. Here's how we were able to work with them. Here's how we were able to mitigate this with the bank, and how we help grow or, better build their credit. You have to carry them through a third-party story so that they can see themselves in that story.
One thing I like to say on that, so grateful for the stepfather that I had. Kind man, tried his best. We'd have family meetings, and my stepdad would just talk at us. And literally, I talked to my sisters about this. We'd have a family meeting, and it's like, all right, let's zone out for an hour, just act like we're paying attention, and then we'll get back to our lives. Because he'd be like, if you guys would just do the dishes, instead of making it a story like, hey, when I was a kid, when we were able to do the things that were possible and get good grades, my parents rewarded us with this. Would you guys want to be rewarded, like finding out what's important to them? So remember, you are gathering information, asking questions so you can go back and tell a story. But there's so many times you can just pepper in a story. Hey, you probably already have everything handled. The last family that I just worked with, the bank actually didn't give them any solutions. And I got there too late, and they ended up losing the house to an auction. But you probably already have it handled. Which option did you guys go with to stop the auction? You can change. Auction sounds like a lot, so you can change your words up. But is that helpful, Sabin?
Yeah, that definitely is.
All right. Do you have any other questions before we move on to Corey? Oh, go ahead, Ingrid.
Nope.
Oh, Sabin, you got any other questions before we move on to Corey?
There is another specific situation, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
There is another seller or homeowner. She wanted to talk about the house. The name on the notice is her mother's. She
Okay.
passed away, and the daughter is living there. I reached out to her, door knocked. No one answered. Left a note. She responded in text. We talked over call, and then after that, she's just ghosting me. I went over again, door knocked. She said I was sick. I'm gonna give you a call. And then I asked her if you have sorted this out. She said no, but I'm gonna give you a call. And I still haven't heard from her.
Hey,
Door knocked
Sabin,
again.
I know that you said that you were going to get back to me. I just want to make sure that I'm, putting my time and energy into a family that wants to get help. I have a lot of homeowners that we're trying to help, and I just want to make sure, like, if I offended you, please let me know. But I have one slot available this week that I can move around. Should I lock you up, or should I, set an appointment to talk to you in Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon? What's better for you? Here's another thing, guys. People have FOMO, fear of missing out. So if you're like, oh, the train's leaving, I'm going to hop on that train. And you can continuously follow up, but you can add, there's so many ways. Hey, should I close your file? She's got her head in the sand. She's overwhelmed probably. I don't know if she's gone through probate. There's so many things. Ingryd, would you say anything different here?
No, I actually would say the same thing. And in fact, I use this analogy. I say, be the hot girl. So, Savan, you need to be the hot girl. Hot girls are not always available. We got our nails to do. We got our eyelashes to do. We don't have time to just be ready when you're ready. So you need to create scarcity, as Caroline mentioned, and say, hey, I'm helping 3 families this month because of just how much we have left to help other people. I can only help one other family. Are you that family? If not, please let me know so that I can move on to somebody else. Like, that is how another way that you could bring it up.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
some
gonna try
ways
that.
if they're not answering. Did I do something to offend you? Should I close your file out? FOMO. Remember FOMO?
And by the way, we're salespeople, so we want to get every deal. But I also say this: adult decisions come with adult consequences, which sometimes means you lose your house. So you can only want it as much as they do. So
nobody likes a psycho ex-girlfriend. Nobody likes somebody that's super clingy. You know what? You just keep peppering them in. Hey, I know you've got it taken care of. You can text them once a week. I love that you have it handled. Just in case it's still, it's still showing up on the county that the auction's going through. I know you said I'll have it all handled. I'm just going to text you next week and just say, oh, it's updated or it's not. I'm here, but you don't have to put all your eggs in that basket. All right, Sabin, last question, go.
Attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys. Sorry?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Building relationships. How does do we need to find a good attorney, or we can just go with the first one that pops up in the search in your area?
Great question. So, Sabin, when people ask you, you've seen I've gotten this question. You asked me, and I had another person ask me, hey, can I have 15 minutes of your time? And what did I do? I pointed you to my YouTube when I have time carved out to do Q&A. All right? I'll help you right now. But in the middle of the day, when I'm doing other money-making activities, it's never 15 minutes. Okay. We've been talking to you for 23.
Remember, you had a question, and how many have you asked?
So it's never that way. So if you're not paying me for my time, or if you're not in a time slot that I have available to help people, girl, bye. I got a life to live. I got things to do. I got to do money-making activities. So before you book time with an attorney, pay for the time slot. Pay for the time slot to book that, because then they're going to be like, oh, you're paying me? You got an hour with me? You're going to be able to solve this, 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 and this. You're going to continue bringing leads my way. All right, you're building a relationship. I love you guys. I want to help you guys. I want you to be successful, but give a girl a bone. Like, send me a freaking nice compliment. Like, tell me I'm hot. Like, I'm turning red, literally, so you guys can know I'm hot right now. But like, go on. This is what I'm going to say. Go to YouTube right now. Go to Ingryd's page and mine. Click the like button on the video. Subscribe and save this so you can help our algorithm. And you know what? I'm going to be like, that Sabin guy's not too bad. I'm going to keep talking to him. The next time he comes up, I'll give him 25 minutes. Okay? Just remember, you're building a relationship with somebody.
As far as getting a good bankruptcy referral, though, and you are now a part of a very prominent mentorship. So if the very first place I look for referrals is from communities or people I trust. So like, I have a group chat of like mastermind students that I'm good friends with, and we'll ask each other questions. So if I were you, I would recommend just going. You said you're in SubTo, correct?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would ask for a referral, tag a few people, and just say, hey, who's done work with bankruptcy lawyers? If what you're doing is finding somebody you can refer your seller to.
that's what
And,
I'm
and yeah, and so then I would start there, because I love to reciprocate and refer out people I've done business with.
yeah. Yeah, I've done that. I didn't find anyone, so after that I was hoping like if I'm searching on my own, what's the best idea?
Yeah. Google, pay for their time, like Caroline
Google
said,
reviews.
and go
Google
look at
reviews.
the reviews. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last thing I'm going to say for everybody on here, have you ever gotten something for free? How nice are the things that you get for free? You ever get those swag bags when you go to an event? Like, great, a pen that's going to break in 2 weeks. So
Mhm.
when you get free things, they tend to break. When you pay for stuff, it's typically quality. So check the reviews, do what's necessary. That'll help you out a ton. Kevin?
Yep. That sounds good.
All right. Hey, great questions. I'm glad you came on. Thank you. Thank you for being a squeaky wheel. I know you're going to be successful because you keep coming in and asking questions. Every Daily Dally, you come in and ask questions. You've been asking me questions on Instagram. Guys, I reply back to you on Instagram. Give me a little bit of time. But this is what's necessary. Also, we will JV with you. So Ingryd and I, there we go. We're over here this way. We'll JV with you. We really want stuff in Phoenix. But if it's really juicy in Michigan, we'll look at it. Not right now.
Even with your wanky transfer taxes that you guys do out there. I almost bought a property in Michigan last year. So, anywho.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sounds
Thanks,
good.
Sabin.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All
Bye.
right. So now we're going to get to Corey. Corey, what's up, dog?
Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm very
too.
excited to be on a call with you.
Oh, well, welcome on. Thanks for tuning in. What you got for us?
So I actually had wanted to get into real estate investing the last few months, and before actually trying to put effort into learning, I thought I would just jump into the deep end and went to an auction and bought a duplex that was fully rented. As a sales contract anyways. I had till the end of the year to close, and I put money down on it and then realized, hey, banks don't want to do a mortgage on a house that's an investment under 100K, at least where I am, and I had no idea. And so I started looking for the internet and found SubTo and got very excited about figuring all this out and having a foundation to move forward. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a way to make this deal work.
We actually have a contact that will go below 100K.
Yeah.
And that's Matthew Bell. He's been on the podcast before. I believe he'll go down to 50K if I remember that correctly.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely look him up. I have submitted the deal to several people through the SubTo community and haven't gotten much traction. But and we Huntington, West Virginia.
Okay, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. That's all I know. So where's Huntington, West Virginia?
So we are in the far left bottom corner. I'm actually in Ashland, Kentucky at the moment.
Okay, is it popping or is it a place people are moving away from?
I guess it depends on your perspective. There's Marshall University here. The place is right by hospitals. So it's the third largest or second city in West Virginia, but that doesn't mean a whole lot.
But you're going to keep it? Is that correct? You're planning on keeping it, correct?
Yes, my intention was absolutely to do a long-term rental because it's already rented. I thought it was a no-brainer, and the mortgage would be $700-800 a month. It's bringing in $1,250, and I was excited. But at this point, I'm just trying not to lose money, and I'm happy to JV with people and happy to do whatever I can to just. I've been looking for wholesalers or wholesale buyers really to wholesale it because I couldn't find anybody that would be interested in lending. So it's really just looking for options and ideas that maybe I haven't thought about. But I'm happy to follow Matthew Bell for sure.
Yeah, I just threw in the chat Matthew Bell's link, and I can send it off to you if you'd like. But yeah, it's my understanding he'll go as low as 50K. Obviously, if it's a DSCR loan, they're going to want to figure out what the rent ratio is versus the mortgage coverage. It's what that debt service
Certainly.
needs. So let us know how it goes. If anything, DM me on Instagram, and then we'll
Okay.
see if we can help you in another way. I'm definitely a loan sponsor. So if maybe that's the key piece you're missing, we can see how maybe we can help.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Hey, way
our
to go,
pleasure.
Corey. Way to get after it. That's awesome. Dive right in. You're going to learn a lot because you're going to see, you're like, I need to do something with this property.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my core beliefs I'm starting to develop, is that you're actually learning something when you realize you have much more to learn. And that has been the fire hose this past couple of weeks. It's just, oh my God, there's so much I don't know.
Congrats, dude. I want to just get to everybody else. So let us know. And then if you guys did not see earlier, make sure that you are in. We have a little Facebook group. You guys can come ask more questions. It's just called the Explain It with Caroline and Ingryd. So you guys can jump in there and connect with us. So good luck, Corey. All right, Stephen Young, you're up, my man. Where are you and what's popping? Oh, I can't hear you. You got to unmute. Let's try this.
How about now?
There you go.
Good. Wow. Voice.
Sorry.
So I'm in Northwest Arkansas,
Okay.
near Fayetteville.
Okay.
And yeah, I just had some questions around door knocking. So I'm just starting to door knock for real estate. I've been investing for about 5 years and have a small portfolio. Have my real estate license, and so I'm doing this full time. And just a few questions I have. So one of them is when I'm door knocking, does it make sense to have like an entity in place? Or I guess what I mean is like a business name that's on business cards or door hangers, or should I just leverage like my brokerage because I am an agent and I have agent business cards?
I'm gonna let you
What are your
answer
thoughts on
this.
that?
I would say do whatever makes you feel most confident. Although when you are an agent, you're supposed to disclose you're an agent. So it might be in your best interest to give out your agent card.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically you're not providing fiduciary until your potential seller or buyer has signed the paperwork that says I'm now an agent of yours. So it shouldn't be a problem. I actually love to leverage my license. Like I've turned a couple of my listing appointments into properties I ended up keeping.
Okay.
So that's my perspective. How about you, Caroline?
I'm not an agent, so I'm going to give the answer for the non-agents in here. F it, we ball, baby. I didn't have my LLC for the first year of wholesaling. Just go back and fix your taxes. You don't need it. I think there's sometimes people overthink things. I've overthought things a lot too. Just go door knock and just lead with value. Come from a place of genuine intention and just say, like, my door knock. This is my door knock opening, and we have a ton of videos on door knocking pre-foreclosures because that's my focus. Hey, Stephen, it's Caroline. I'm just seeing how your conversation went with Ingryd over at the county. What conversation with Ingryd at the county? Oh, yeah. Ingryd spoke to you? No, Ingryd did not speak to me. Oh. So I'm the first person to reach out to you. Okay, well, it looks like, or it doesn't look like, the bank has set an auction for the property on 321 Main Street. I was calling to see how your conversation went with Ingryd, or door knocking to see how your conversation went with Ingryd and what solution they presented to you. Whatever you'd like, you can change it up. I reach out to people on day one. You can do so many different phases of being in pre-foreclosure that you can reach out to. And I'm going to tell you this, the squeaky wheel gets the deal. Just being consistent. Just keep showing up. So you don't really need to have a business. If somebody, typically if somebody's asking me what my LLC name is or my business name, my spider senses are tingling. And I'm like,
yeah.
Why do you need that? What are you wanting? So I gave the best answer. Guys, whatever you're doing, just be the hot girl and have confidence in it. I see your other questions here. Also about methods of reaching out to pre-foreclosures and team structure. Those are the other two that you asked in the side chat. Methods. I text, I call, I door knock, I'll send letters, I'll scour the internet for them, I'll talk to neighbors. I am that squeaky wheel, and I look for things that have equity and that I think I can actually work on. I'm only one girl. There's only so much of me. I can't door knock every house in the area because I will not get to everybody and I'll do a bad job of follow-up. So I'd say stay very niche. I'm trying to move closer to Ingryd. Ingryd lives 15 minutes away from me, so I really look in Ingryd's area, my area, and specific other areas that I like. I wouldn't go outside of that. From Brinde?
Yeah, that makes sense. No, thank you for that insight. And actually, something that you guys had mentioned just made me think of something else. So, as far as like Caroline, are you working mostly independently then, or do you have a team in place that's kind of working together?
I have been slowing down to get a team in place. I have been spending so much time getting my system, so I'm still doing stuff a lot by myself. I have an integrator that I work with, but I realize I want to be a business owner, not an operator. I don't want to be blinded and in the weeds of doing all of the everyday work. I was even telling Ingryd this, like there was one week, there was a few times where I come on late to the podcast because I was on the phone with attorneys because I'm wearing all of the hats. You cannot grow if you're wearing all the hats. So delegation is key. So I am going to be bringing people onto my team, and I'm going to have them go like, I have been spending so much time uploading videos for training so I can get somebody in. I don't want to bring somebody in and be like, oh, forget everything I taught you. I want to get it nice, blank slate. This is what's expected. This is how we run things. So I don't want to bring somebody into chaos. I want to bring them into routine and discipline and structure. So I will be adding people in that can do stuff for me. Ingryd, I know Ingryd has a college student that's doing all of her bidding.
I did just get an intern. Yes. So I have a JV model in the way that I run my business. And the reason why is because I still have a W-2. And so I connect with people who already have hot leads and they need somebody like me to be able to close those leads, or maybe they need somebody like me to just buy it. And so usually I help people close those deals, and I either keep the property or we wholesale that property out together. So that's generally the way that I work. And because I'm not running it, like if I'm being honest with myself, I'm running it like a hobby, even though it's a good paying hobby. Because in the 2 years, I've been really doing this, a little over 2 years. Like I just closed on my 11th property. Okay. And for me, like that's an okay pace to run at. And
you also have 2 kids and a husband and a full-time job. That's a great pace to run at.
Yeah. But I also flip. So we have 3 flips going on right now. Last year we wholly did, I think 4 or 5 flips. I don't remember now. And so I feel like that's enough for somebody like me right now. I'm trying to give myself some grace. But if I also think enough cannot be said about running your team lean. I think it's important for us to run lean before we're like building a gargantuan team. I've known at least 5 different people in my close circle. And I say 5 because I can already see their faces, where they started on this and they caught traction and they started scaling. And then they realized they didn't have any of their systems, their processes, nothing. And what did they end up doing? They ended up firing everybody and starting over again. So I'm a proponent of go slow to go fast. Because if you can, not everybody has that privilege. I do, but like it's important for you to understand how to become the leader that everybody else is going to need you to be. And if you're trying to get really big, really fast, and you haven't built those leadership skills, you're not going to have a company anyway. That's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah, that makes sense. One last question is, how often would you knock a door? Like every day, or like give it some time in between?
Every week.
Every week. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless the auction's at the end of the week, then I'm knocking it every day, and I know it's a really good deal.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Hey, thank you for your guys' time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, great question, Steve. Thank you.
Good job, quarterback. All right. Steve,
say it again. Say it again.
I was just kidding. Niners reference.
All right, let's bring up the man, the myth, the legend, Jason Lombardi.
Yeah!
What's up, dude?
Hey, ladies.
Jason.
How are you?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm good. Just doing the same shit, trying to get deals.
I was actually just talking about you this morning to a police officer up in Portland. And he was getting off of his night shift. And I was like, dude, you have the because he's like, I'm going to go after bankruptcy leads. And I was like, dude, you know where all of the sketchy houses are in the neighborhood. You need to connect with Jason Lombardi. Like, he deals with, if you guys don't know Jason Lombardi, you need to get to know him. He deals exclusively with your drug house problems in your neighborhood. And he's a rat infester killer. Like, he will exterminate all of your problems. And one of the coolest things I like, Jason, is when you first got into SubTo, you came onto we were both in a mentorship before TTP, And you came on and you're making what, $10,000 per deal, and then he like worked on his empathy and how to talk to people, and he was averaging $45,000 per deal. So I'm telling you guys all of this because like I want to be like Ingryd, I want to be like Jason, I want to be like Pace, I want to be like all of these people that are doing stuff, but like we're constantly working on ourselves. So that's really, really cool. So Jason, I hope you're on here to talk about the fundraiser you're doing. Is that what you're here for?
Of course.
What are you doing? What's your fundraiser?
We're killing it. It's ridiculous how many people have contributed, and it's like there's so many people in SubTo. I literally don't even like when I look at. I'm like I don't even know their name. I like have to like Google it, and they're like it's so crazy how many people are really donating. And
what are you donating for? Tell us, because I didn't say it.
We're donating backpacks for like disadvantaged youth, and there's homeless kids here and there, but most of them are just kind of like disadvantaged youth. And we already have 150. Some guy lent us a warehouse to do it in, and so now I'm trying to buy the warehouse naturally because it's empty. Yeah. And so we're in the talks in that, but so it's cool. It's like it's weird how like everything comes full circle, you know. And but we have so much stuff, and it's crazy the stuff people have been donating. We have like so much stuff in my house, just the Amazon boxes like everywhere, and we didn't plan on this. We're like, what do you think we'll get? I don't know. Maybe someone will buy a sweatshirt and some pencils or something. It's like we have literally boxes of shit everywhere. It's awesome. It's like it makes me want to do more. It's like if this is just like sending out 2 Facebook posts, like what can we really do? You know? And so yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
What's your link? What can we share with our audience?
I can get it. So I'm not 100% sure if this is. I'll give you my Facebook.
Let me pull the one up you texted me.
I'll throw it in the chat afterwards.
Okay, I'll get it from you right now.
And Caroline has it. So I don't. I know this is probably a stupid question, but I have this house. I hate it. I have a DSCR loan on it. You can wrap a DSCR loan, right?
Yes, you can.
It's got a high interest rate, but it's still like not bad. You know, it's still like saleable.
Yeah, wrap it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was like, I don't know why. I don't see why not. You know, but I didn't know if there was DSCRs that were a little different than the traditional conventionals.
I think the only ones you'll find yourself struggling with are 2 hard money and reverse mortgages. Those are the 2 that like you literally can't wrap from a wrap perspective. But everything else is wrappable from my knowledge. I might be wrong, but yeah, DSCR loans included. In fact, my very first Morby method is a DSCR loan. And because I know that they're really good at paying me, like I'm actually going to ask them if they want to buy it on a wrap. So,
nice. Yeah, I'm trying to thin out all my properties. I'm trying to stack cash right now. I feel like where cash is going to come into play big time next year, you know?
Man, I keep seeing that. And by the way, because I'm just not that cool, I'm like, people are calling it dry powder. Somebody was like, yeah, I got to get some more dry powder. And I'm like, what? Like talking powder? Did your pit stink? What is happening here? So yeah, I didn't know that that's what they call it now. So
yeah. Do you guys know Eddie Speed, the note guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I talk to him all the time, but he uses that term all the time, or I'm out of soap. He has all these weird like redneck terms, you know. But
what? I don't know if they're redneck. It sounds to me like a drug. Well, I guess dry powder would be like what you put in a bullet, right? Maybe.
I don't know. Like he has all these weird sayings, and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, like whatever, you know.
That's how not cool I am. I mean, look at your background with your like crazy ass art, and I just have windows. You know, you're the cooler, definitely the cooler of the bunch.
I only have one window in here, but how have you guys been?
Good.
Incredible.
Yeah. Keeping your powder dry, said Jimmy.
I think it's like it's an ammunition thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
War.
I was thinking that or like drugs. And so I just wasn't sure.
Yeah. Keeping your powder dry, make sure it doesn't get wet. It smells different.
Are you still fixing and flipping, Jason, or are you focusing more on the wholesale side?
We are. I'm already sick of it though. You know, I'm like, for me, it's hard for me to find consistent contractors, and it's like babysitting for me. It's like I'm always back and forth. But to answer your question, we have one we just finished. Me and Amelia did it pretty much ourselves. We just finished that. We have another one in Northport where we're just starting it, and that's not a total gut, but it'd be a couple months, you know. And but I'm going to wrap that loan. That's a seller finance deal, and so I'm sick of it. It's too far away. It's like 25 minutes away. So yeah, just kind of chugging along. I'm not super busy. I've just been kind of picking and choosing my deals, but feel like I've been buying more, and now I have like too much obligation. I have too many houses, and I just want to kind of thin it out. I do this every now and then. I'll just sell everything and then kind of reassess, you know, and kind of do that. But I feel like I'm at that point. I'm just like, I'm bored with this portfolio.
Do you have to 1031 or how do you manage your, we are coming to the end of tax years where people think about their taxes. What does that look like for you? And there goes Caroline into what she's considering the cold plunge since it's the pool. So
right. I keep them for a year and a day typically and sell them. Like, so I strategically buy them right now. Then we Airbnb them over the winter because Venice is like a snowbird community. And then hopefully we just make it not too bad in the summer, and then year and a day them and sell them. Like I have not done a 1031. I see its uses, but I just haven't, you know.
Well, you haven't needed to if you're just paying your taxes, it sounds like.
We usually have enough write-offs. It's a wash. Like we did phenomenal last year and we got taxed like $8,000. I can deal with that. You know.
Solid. So I love that.
A good accountant, and he figures it out and does his thing, and I just do mine, you know.
Yeah, well, and then it helps that in Florida you don't have to pay income taxes, so really just focus on the federal way of managing your taxes. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's not bad, you know. It's worked so far. Keeps us fed, you know. So,
and of course, like the great soul you are, you're not only just cleaning up the community in the fantastic way that you do that, but now you're also raising. Or not raising, excuse me, you're providing for children. So if any of you feel so compelled, the link is on the screen now. It's also in the chat so that you guys can provide for these disadvantaged kids in Florida. So please consider donating. That's so amazing.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, ladies. And I saw you guys. I was like, I have to jump on real quick. Just shoot the shit. But
yeah, I was actually going to say, stay on. Let's see what John Capuno has to say. Yeah. We would love for your feedback too. Yeah, how's that sound?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Hey, John, you're up on stage now, so you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Let's see if he's there.
Oh, that's a recent picture too. I look at it. It's Jamil with his neck brace and pace.
I don't know if John's there. Oh, there we go. What's up, John?
How's it going?
What's up, man?
Guys. Questions. I actually just joined SubTo.
Welcome.
Questions as for Caroline. I'm actually in the service right now in the Navy.
Oh, nice. My sister just got here today, actually. I'm going to go hang out with her tonight. She's in the Navy as well, and she's stationed in Japan. So I'm going to go see her after the podcast.
Yes.
So thank you for your service. What's your MOS?
I'm a personnel specialist, so it's like dealing with pay and admin stuff.
Oh, cool. All right. Where are you stationed?
I'm in San Diego right now.
Oh, you poor soul.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Struggling. Man, San Diego, that's the worst place to be. Well, welcome. I'm guessing you joined to make some passive income and probably use your VA loan and set yourself up for when you're out of the Navy. So congratulations, dude. Way to be in here. How long have you been in so far?
In about 6 years.
6 years. I did 6 in the Army. So, well, thank you for your service. You're brand new. Do you have any real estate experience?
I do not.
Ooh, okay, cool. Jumping in the deep end. All right. So what are you wanting to come? Like, what is your goal from joining SubTo and getting into real estate?
Well, for me, is like, I just realized that when I was like doing the service, like I don't really think I could do it like 20 years, right? Like I think it's
Yeah, 20 years is a long time to be
A
in.
long time,
Yeah,
and I just don't see myself doing that.
Makes sense.
And
Okay,
then-
so
yeah,
what are you wanting to do? You're wanting to replace your income so you can not have to stay in the military?
yes. And then
Okay.
I wanted to ask you like how did you like transition, like just constant action, huh? Like I know this is probably it. Yeah.
So, I mean, as you can tell, I'm very shy. I am in a pool right now and doing a podcast on the internet. So I really no, it depends like what you like doing. Okay, so I like talking to people. That helps me out a ton. Ingryd is like multifaceted. She is a total nerd and really charismatic and can like go and figure out how spreadsheets work. Jason, were you a welder? What did you do before? You were a union guy.
I was a union glazer. We built all glass buildings.
Whew, and I'm freezing. I'm gonna get out of this pool.
Your lips are blue.
I'm having a hard time thinking. So I'd say, are they blue? Holy cow. So I'd figure out what your strengths are and what you want to do and what you're good at. So John, what are you really good at? Whew, I'm getting out.
I don't even know yet. Like well, right now I'm venturing the agent outreach stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Setting my outreach. I'm trying to build the business model as like Jonah
Jonah Corchin.
Fortune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But so far, no leads yet. Only suspects. But so nothing really.
Are you doing it in San Diego or California?
No, actually, I opened up an LLC in Vegas. So
Okay.
That's where I'm doing my outreach right now. So.
Interesting. Cool.
Are you working with anybody else or just you, John?
Just me, Eddie Charger, like for the bonus Zoom that Pace did the past week. We did our call like this week, and then he was willing to help out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, like a similar business model as like agent outreach and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever thought of jumping on a team, maybe?
I did, but I don't know where to start. Like as to who I need to reach out to. I did with Steve Anderson over here in San Diego, but he was mainly looking for like callers for direct to sellers, and I get out 6 a.m. and then come back at home at like 6 p.m. So I can't really like dedicate my time for calling because like I have a pregnant wife too. So
All right, so I'm
Shoot
back
the
and I can think. So, this is what I'm gonna say. Was basic training fun, John?
hell no.
Hell no. But it was a great time, right?
Yes.
There's certain things that you're gonna have to do now, to get to where you want to be. So this is what I would tell you to do. All right. After this, take 10 minutes. Tell your wife, like, I love you. I need 10 minutes to myself. Go throw on some jams that you really enjoy. Write out, pretend it's going to be Christmas Day. What do you want in the next 20 years? Okay. What's really important to you? How do you want to give back? We love giving back. It makes you feel really good. It's a really fun thing to do. How are you going to give back? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to visit? What experiences do you want? What do you want to do for your family? Put that down, write it out. And then so I'm giving you all of this. Okay. Then go back through and say, what can be accomplished in the first year? All right. This is like I remember there were days where I feel like we were getting 4 hours of sleep. If you guys have not been in the military, it is basic training is awesome. But I remember one morning I woke up and I was like, there's no way that I signed up for this. This is so cruel. I would not do this to myself because I was so miserable. You're just constantly tired. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. Okay. If this was easy, everybody would do it. So I would say join a team, especially when you're brand new. But first you have to know what you want because you can have shiny object syndrome. Yeah. And Jason just said, come to the Daily Dials on Monday. So if you just join SubTo, you know, every day of the week, I'm doing 4 hours of Zooms first thing in the morning. I have Jason come on. He's our closer for Monday. Tomorrow's going to be really good with Creighton and with Munif. If you're getting out at 6 a.m. and an hour at 7 a.m., Creighton will be on. Or is your day starting at 6 a.m. or are you done at 6 a.m.?
Starting.
So I get up and go to work about like 6:30, drive to work. So I live in Temecula. So
Okay.
my drive
Well,
is
perfect. So
all
you
the
can
way.
listen in. So you can go to the East Coast Daily Dial, which is earlier, and you can listen into that. And you'll be good. And actually, I think 6 a.m. is West Coast for you because you're Pacific Standard Time and we're Mountain Standard Time. So you have time to get in there and listen in.
Okay.
You need to write down what you want to do, or like what do you want to accomplish, and you're gonna have to get outside of your comfort zone. Okay. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Join a team. Go do the uncomfortable stuff for a couple of months. Go learn from the successful people that have who do you want to copy off of? Why did you
Okay.
join SubTo? Who do you want? I'm just saying, like, who do you want to copy off of? Who's successful? And I'd rip off and duplicate that, and that would help you out a ton. Would Ingryd and Jason, do you guys say anything different here?
That's the first thing I said. Join a team, And
Yeah.
you seem like I won't call it timid, but you're not going to go after it. And dealing with agents, you got to be more assertive and grab them by the neck and say, hey, listen, this is what we want to do. You got to convey this to the seller, So it's like, find your avatar. It'll be important to you in the beginning, because some people are great. Some people love being integrators. Some people want to call. Some people want to do acquisitions. Find your groove,
And by the way, it's totally appropriate to dabble, but make sure your dabbling is long enough for you to get a real assessment of it, right? I mean, you've given the Navy 6 years. So think about that perspective when you start thinking about like, well, how many years can I give this REI thing before I know it's good or not good? So in the moment, it sucks. But like sometimes you have to give yourself some latitude to say, okay, how much time? And generally what Pace says, he's like 90 days in a day. So you're talking about 91 days of doing that one thing consistently. And then you'll know whether or not you like it or not. And so that's how I got my first deal. And by the way, I had a similar schedule to yours. I work all day. And then once I was done with the day around 5, I would jump on the phone and do direct to seller follow up. So that's the way that I did it. And when I consistently was on the phone at the end of the second week, I locked up my first deal. Wow. But that meant every day I was on the phone for 3 to 4 hours. And that's all it took for me. But I also understood that I've had sales background, so I wasn't concerned about the sales process. If you're new to sales, then you have to give yourself way more latitude than that, right? So somebody like me, I should have been able to lock up a deal that quickly because I've been an agent in real estate. For somebody who doesn't have that, it might take you longer because you have to be able to read what that looks like for you. But I would say locking up a deal does not mean you'll close that deal. Mm-hmm. So every little incremental thing is a win, right? So like, hey, am I going to be on the phone for 5 days for 3 hours every day? If you do that, that's a win, right? Like so. Know how you're going to grade yourself.
Okay. All right, John, we peppered you with stuff. Don't want to overwhelm you. What are your action items after this?
Well, take 10 minutes and then write down the things that I want for myself, for my family, what I want my life to look like in 20 years.
What do you want to accomplish in the 20 years? What experiences do you want to have? How do you want to feel? Are you going to get fat in the next 20 years? Are you going to be in the best shape of your life? Are you going to have debilitating, like everything? Like leave no stone unturned when you're going through this. Every single thing, put it on a vision board. And then you got to remind yourself, because there's times when I don't want to do stuff. There's times when none of us want to do things. Okay? But we've got to push through it to get to where we want to be. So, John, I want to see you in the Daily Dial. I expect to see you talking to us some more. Thank you for coming on. I'm excited that you're in here. Do you have any final questions before we let you get back to your goals?
No, that's about it. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Talk to you, man.
Jason, same to you. Thanks for tuning on and giving some feedback. That was great stuff.
No problem. Anytime.
You're welcome anytime.
Awesome.
Yeah, we love you.
Tell Amelia we said hi.
Yeah, I got to go in and eat. But have a good night, guys.
Hey,
or good day for you.
I'm coming to Tampa on January 20th. I'm doing that skydiving thing. Are you going to be around?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, I'll probably go. Yeah. I don't want to go to Disney, but I'll go skydiving.
Perfect. There we go. All right. I'll see you. Tell Amelia to come over. Come over with the chopper.
All right. Awesome.
Cool.
Have a good day, guys.
Ingryd.
Get in the chopper.
get in the choppa. I've decided I'm never doing another hot tub episode again because I've almost passed out in the pool. So it is hot and then so cold. That pool is so cold. I'm
Wait,
so glad that
could you just do the hot tub? Because I was just thinking like hot tub, hot girl status.
as long
that
as
we
I'm
should talk
able,
about.
have you seen how much I've moved? As long as I'm able to, it's hot. I mean, I guess we could turn the temperature down, but whoo-wee. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys tell me, did the sex appeal work, or were the boobs out? Is that the way to go for a podcast?
I heard sex sells, so maybe.
There
Mhm.
you go. Well, Ingrid, I wanted to tell you this because we were kind of talking about the holidays beforehand. I thought about one of our last episodes when I was not at the Tony Robbins event, and I just thank you so much for being such a great friend and for being so consistent and dependable. I love you, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Are you going to Elena's son's birthday party this weekend?
No.
You gonna be my first one? Well, it's a little kid birthday party. I'm just gonna stop by. But I want to see you and hang out. I wish I would have gone to Isla's party. I was doing catch up because we were going through everything. Or game. When's your final game?
So her championship game is tomorrow at 4:30.
Oh.
And so I'll tell you where offline.
Yeah, let me know.
Yep, I told Marlon about it. He says he wants to come, so maybe you both can
Okay.
join. We're super excited for her. And the team that she's playing, which is Kyrene Middle School, they like a good chunk of that team was all the girls that she used to play with. So it's kind of like a reunion thing. Yeah. So it's going to be fun. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate you saying all of that. And sorry, I just got distracted by Dr. Brandt, who may have just joined us a little bit late. Anyway, yes, we definitely need to see each other. We're heading to Sedona this weekend, actually, because we're going to finish setting up our midterm rental and preparing it for it to get rented out starting in January. So we're excited about that. That's our latest purchase. And by the way, I want to give us ground everyone. So one of the things we heard John say is that he wants to buy property so that he can replace his salary. We are on our 11th property, and I promise you that it's not replaced my salary yet. So just to give some people a gauge, because some are like 10 properties and it'll replace my salary. Not just that. The cash flow piece, right? But the fact that you're having to build reserves probably for the first or second year you've had that property. And once you have enough reserves, then you can say, okay, now I can take from this income. So if your goal is to own properties, take that cash flow and replace your income, I promise you, unless you have a lot of money in the bank right now to take down a lot of properties and be able to withstand that like 6 to 8 months, I would say that's a 4 to 5 year plan. I guarantee you, because it just doesn't work that way. So, in my opinion, and I think you've heard Brent Daniels talk about this, Jamil talk about this, owning property is a wealth building strategy. Getting rich, meaning having cash in the bank, you need an active income approach, which that could be wholesaling, that could be fix and flipping, owning a business. If anybody's out there and knows of a home service business they're looking to sell in Arizona, I'm your girl. Come talk to me. Because you need active income, and buying properties and just holding on to them, that's not going to replace your cash that quickly. So I didn't want to say that with John, like right away. I definitely don't want to discourage people. But just understand like how many it's going to take for you to replace your income.
Yeah. Well, guys, we want to set real expectations. We want to help you guys get to the next level. It is 5:03. I'm going to get out of this water because I'm probably have webbed feet and I'm about to grow some gills. Ingrid, thank you so much. Everybody who's on here, we appreciate you. Thank you for liking, subscribing, participating. If you have any questions or you need help with anything, holler at us. We'd love to help you out. Have a great day. We'll see you next Wednesday, right?
Thanks, everybody.
Season 2. All right. Bye, everybody. See ya.